Good morning, everybody. It's Van Silk. As I was walking this morning, I said, you know what? I'm not going to sit down and not say anything of how I feel of this upcoming election. Now, everybody's entitled to their own opinion. You can vote for who you want to vote for. But we do have a lot of people out here that are not wisely educated on this subject. You got people out here who have been misinformed because you have people being paid to say things about Kamala Harris. Now, I applaud Joe Biden for stepping down because of age. I don't think anybody of that age should be trying to run this country. It's not going to serve the purpose for my grandkids, your grandkids, and future generations to come. But let's sit back and think about it. Diddy got arrested for sex trafficking, crimes, whatever charges they bringing on him. Yet you still have the other guy who's been convicted 34 times but haven't been sentenced yet. Tried to force the Georgia secretary to find 11,000 votes. January 6th, the horrendous crime that was at the Capitol, doing an electoral college count by the former Vice President Mike Pence and everybody that was in the Capitol that day. Now let's go back to the March on Washington with Martin Luther King. Where was the violence? Let's even go to the Million Man March twice. Where was the violence? But we live in a world today where social media, mega channels, anybody with a platform can say what they want to say. Here we have a near 80-year-old man who's vindictive. He's telling you what he's going to do. So you want to strip away women's rights to life, no matter what the situation. You want to pick on the immigrants, the legal ones. You set out your own mouth that you will send them back, legal or not legal. I'm watching J.D. Vance is talking about how the legal immigrants are in Springfield, Ohio. First, the old man said they're eating dogs and cats. So you just attack a whole nationality of Haitians. When is this rhetoric going to stop? Now you have another nut job named Laura Loomer who sat up here and assassinated the character of Harris by saying if she get into the White House, it's going to smell like curry goat. Then you have Sarah Huckabee talking about Harris don't have any children. She need to become humble. J.D. Vance said women without kids are cat ladies. What about the women that can't have kids? What about the woman who just didn't want to have another life on this planet because it might not have been feasible for her? Or is it you just don't want a woman of color in the White House? But nobody had a problem with Sarah Palin when she ran as VP and became president in the White House. We gotta watch the words the old man say. Donald Trump, because his real last name is Trump, D-R-U-M-P-F. His father changed their last name to Trump. How? I don't know. They're a descent from Germany, because he's German. But let's look at the whole country of the United States. With the exception of us slaves, descendants of us being slaves, brought here to this country from our motherland, everybody else here on this country is an immigrant. You descended here. Your ancestors descended here legally and illegally. Back in the 60s, us black folks was called migrants. They got videos that I've been watching, wow, just in the 60s, early 60s. They had certain parts of Carolinas and stuff. And here's the town where the migrants live. Don't even go about what policies does Kamala Harris has. She has policies. Y'all just don't want to read them. When you talk about 2025, Project 2025, how many of y'all actually read the 900 pages? But yet, the old man can get up on stage to his audience, talk about the crowd size, talk about fake news, talk about, and this is the point that he's been driving. If the election is not fair, if he loses. The man has never apologized for anything he has done. He lies everything out of his mouth. J.D. Vance even admit that he made up the story about the cats and the dogs. But y'all people don't watch the news. Y'all don't do your research. Forget about TikTok. TikTok, every weekend, there's a serious attack on Kamala Harris by the so-called blacks who have no, and I look at their pages, you have nothing on your page about politics. It's just Kamala Harris this, Kamala Harris that. I mean, the old man calls her like she's a traitor to this country. You got Donald Trump's daughter-in-law, Laura Trump, sits up here and talk about she wouldn't want no job if she didn't earn it. Well, how did you become co-chair of the Republican National Convention? You co-chair because your last name is Trump. I don't care who Kamala Harris slept with. Nobody's searching to see who you slept with. She was a state attorney, she was a district attorney, and she was a senator. And she's been vice president. Oh, what do the vice president do? Nothing the whole 3.5 years. You know what, it sounds so stupid because we know the role of the vice president. She has her own agenda. They're just like all of y'all got bosses that have jobs, and you go to work. When the old man talking about, well, Joe Biden could sign the bill right now to close the border. No, that's not what the bill. You could have did that when you was in office. But you killed the bill that both sides had agreed upon before the last election because you didn't want it to affect, you know, what it's really about. The bill that was put in front of you was to hire 1,500 more security patrol. 15 more people. But you didn't want that. Because that's the case, or Joe Biden could just sign a bill now, so could have you. You could have signed the same bill and shut it down. But you didn't want to. You said you hoped the stock market crash. What kind of human being thinks like that? We all know that you wasn't trying to leave office. And if any of those people who you claim were very good people, and if you get in office, you will pardon them. You always want to bring up Venezuela, but we know what just happened in Venezuela. The president of Venezuela lost in the votes, and what did he do? He fired off the military. And where is he at? Still in office right now. See, when you're the president of the United States, Congress put the bill to the president of the United States to pass. You either pass the bill or you veto the bill. You know, This old man came up with the whole birther thing about Barack Obama. You know, but your wife is an immigrant. Melania is an immigrant, so was Ivanka. Why you got so much hatred in your heart? And for all you people out here, when a 13-year-old child is raped, a young girl is raped and can't have an abortion, you tell me that's right. Here you go with this whole narrative. Oh, they want to kill the baby 3 or 4 weeks after the baby is born. That is not what was going on, and that's not what's happening. We know there's a lot of kids that are born that the doctors say there is no chance of this baby living. It's just going to be disastrous to the parents and to the family. And they set it up to where the family could visit the newborn or whatever. And this is what, and you know, to take the child out the misery of knowing that this child's going to die anyway. But then again, they call it politics or political tricks. We got some dummies that out here thinking that Donald Trump passed the stimulus bill. Now I don't want to call his name. I'm gonna call him the old man, the senile. He should be sitting somewhere in a rocking chair. No, he did not pass the stimulus bill. It was done by the Democrats. He just wanted to put his name on the check. Yeah, gas was low during your term because we was all in COVID. Yeah, prices were down. And the price of gas is going down. The president don't control the gas prices. The whole war with Ukraine and Russia started on your term, old man. You let them take over the army base that Ukraine left and let Russia plant the flag. But then again, you got so much hate against China. But while you was in office, how many companies did you and your daughter trademark while you was in office? Over 200 companies? All your paraphernalia is made in China. Nothing made in the USA. What about the $10 million that was given to you from the president of Egypt? Where's that money at? We still haven't seen the taxes. But see, the president of the United States is in charge of the military, one arm of the government. Now you want to try to get rid of the Constitution to where you can stay in office until you die. And who knows? Could be passed on to one of your kids. You think this is Korea. This is America. And for all you followers out there, I watch y'all. They ask your questions and name one of his policies, and you'll look at your friend and he'll tell you what the policy is. Oh, we got to get America back. America's in great shape. But I'm going to tell you to my people, say this to y'all. Stop thinking because somebody is black that they're the president for black people. Okay? Our people went through enough from the Jim Crow era, from slavery, Jim Crow, the Voting Act. It's so much. We are our own worst enemies. We do our own worst harm to ourselves. You don't even build up your own community. Okay? We were people of family values and respect. Half of your kids today don't even know who your cousins and aunts and uncles are because you let this country dictate everything to you. Everybody wants something for free. Instead of living out your means, you should live within your means. The intelligence level is low in this country. A person that want to lead this country that calls people by names. The same person who didn't even want to come to the transition of presidency during the inaugural of Joe Biden, who sat in the White House. but yet you want to run this country. Where are my good black people at? Well, what kind of mess is that? Barack Obama left this country to you in great shape, and you destroyed it like you destroyed every one of your other businesses, from Trump University to your casinos to your, you just get your name plastered on all kind of merchandise. The alleged assassination attempt, 500 feet. What is that, like three football fields? So this alleged attempt of assassination, the guy was over 500 feet away, or whatever it was, not 50 feet. And he just get arrested for gun charges. No assassination attempt or anything. Who was this patsy? You know everything. Nobody is smarter than you. But it seemed like everybody that was underneath your administration, with except the few unfortunate ones who have no way of really getting the job, they don't want nothing to do with you. Every lawyer that you touch is either being disbarred, from Giuliani to the girl, Alina, who was representing you, and the woman that was charging your best minister for sexual harassment. Now she's about ready to lose her license. Your own people is telling you to get rid of Laura Loomer, but you don't want to get rid of her because you know there's other stuff going on. Like you said in the beginning, you can shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue, nothing's going to happen. You're the only person since Reagan that had an attempt on your life. Not Biden, not Clinton, not Barack Obama, nobody but you. You worrying about the crowd size. And then at 7 a.m. in the morning, because Taylor Swift says she's not voting for you, you sit up here and you tweet out, "I hate Taylor Swift." And you're supposed to be the leader of this country. You only like people that can kiss your ass. Guess you didn't know your lawyer, Michael Cohen, either. Guess you didn't know Steve Bannon. I guess you don't know anybody. You don't know these people. We already know the Project 2025 was already a setup when they implement the laws against abortion, Roe versus Wade. We already knew what you were doing when you put those 3 judges in there, and the 238 judges, and only 8 were black. Miss McConnell wouldn't even let Barack Obama put Merlin Garland in during his last year in a term. But Merlin Garland became head of the Department of Justice, and you think everybody's after you. Everybody is picking on the old man, the old senile man, Mr. Trump. There's nobody picking on you. When Kamala Harris said to you about your crowd size in the debate, you were discombobulated. You just didn't know what to say after that. That's all you still talk about. And every news is fake news. That's why you associated with Truth Social. Okay? You want to spew your own propaganda. You're not here to heal this nation and heal people. Just like at 9/11, you claim you was down there, it wouldn't happen. I don't care if you're a friend of mine's, family member. If you don't like what I'm saying, too bad. But we all know what's right. We know what's right. We got some uneducated black people talking about, well, Donald Trump gave the HBCU $90 million. Okay, well, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris gave $6.2 billion. Now, how those universities allocate those monies and use it, I don't know. But I know one thing. Y'all need to really sit down and understand that if this man get back in office, this country is over. He will implement the military. He will attack people that was against him. He will try to get rid of the EPA. He's going to try to get rid of the FBI. Don't think that he won't try, because he already tried some of this stuff already. Look who he hires and put in charge. Look at the postmaster. He's going to slow down the mail. I mean, it's funny. When he wants to talk about the election, but what about all the Republicans that was on the same ticket with you in different states that won? Only you lost in the states that they might have won in, and there were states that you won in that some of these Republicans that was running for office lost in. But no, you already got a company, Dominion, in trouble that Fox News had to pay all this money with this hoax. You think because you was ahead at a certain point that the election is over. This is the same guy who had bone spurs in his foot but never served one day in the military. But you know more than the generals. Because he said, if the generals don't listen to do what I tell them to do, I'll replace them. So he wants patsies. Because he owes too much money to other people. He got to find a way to get it back. Just think about all the people's lives you ruined all these years. Now, in the beginning, when you ran as a Democrat and you was hanging around the celebrities early on in your life, okay, nobody really know what you was going to come out to be. You sat up here and said, the only reason why I'm becoming a Republican is because they stupid. But you didn't know Jeffrey Epstein, right? You didn't know him. But there's many pictures of you and him at parties together with young girls. Some girls might have even been under the age of 17. Here's a man that's infatuated sexually with his own daughter. Here's a man that let Howard Stern say in an interview in front of you, just your daughter a good piece, look like a good piece of ass. Any real father would have bust his fronts up. They asked you a question on Mike Donahue about your daughter, and you said, when you see your daughter, what you think of her? You said sex, but she's my daughter. What man says that about their own daughter? This is Van Silk right here. I'm back. Black Cultural Network. Yes, for another man to talk about your daughter or the way you talk about your daughter is inappropriate. They had a thing for people who can get free phone service, cellular phone service, it was ACP. Up to 25 million people were able to get that. That bill didn't get passed, so they cut that service earlier this year. So you got about 25 million people who might have had phone bills, phone service. Now they have to pay to have phone service. But think about what Donald Trump, the old man, has been saying about Medicaid, Social Security, food stamps. Excuse me. That they will cut, that they don't care. The tax cut is for the rich. I hear people talking about, oh, it was much better when he was in office. When he was in office, half the time we was in the house. Couldn't go nowhere. Couldn't go nowhere. For almost a whole year. But at the end of the day, this is what we are faced with. And we're faced with people who have no clue. especially our people. Oh, I had more money when he was in office. Really? Cost of living goes up everywhere. It's how you spend your money. To all you ones out here, you crooked ones that wouldn't got these PPP loans and y'all going to jail, and tax fraud that y'all do, because now most people in certain states or whatever where there's a lot of fraud or taxes, you have to go to get your check, have the ID to get it. As the world progress, technology change, and you ain't gonna be able to do the things that you wanted to do. But just go and look at the people that you can see on, just go on TikTok. As soon as you see them talking down on Kamala Harris, go look at their page and you'll see really no politics on there at all. And at the end of the day, this is what we're gonna be faced with come this election. They already got people planted in battleground states that ease their way into be part of the electoral college, the counting of the ballots. And if there's states that he don't win, and those people are in there, they're not trying to certify the election. They're gonna try to stall it. Stall all you want. Guess Harris and Joe Biden will be in office until you get it right. Things backfire on people when you do dirt. Now, I'm gonna say this, all politicians, I don't really trust none of them. But there gotta be some that are good. Your constituents, it starts in your community with the district leaders and people like that y'all have to get out and vote for. Just don't wait for the general election. Get out and vote, man. But our people in the community, y'all don't want to take nothing to the district leaders in your community. You'll just think people supposed to just hand out stuff to you. But if you stop spending your money unwisely, you'll have money. People don't even cook no more. They rather go and spend fast food chain. I just spent $25 for a plate of this and that. But you can't cook. Buying stuff you can't afford, but you want to blame somebody else. Get your tax money, you buy stuff that you can't afford, but you want to blame somebody else. Because you got fooled by those who promoting this nonsense to you on social media. Like, nobody now grew up poor. Wow. But you want to tell the stories when you get some money. Yeah, I came up poor and I didn't have this and that. Listen, the majority of people in this country are going to be poor the rest of their life. You're not the 1%er. And the 1% ain't going to help you. Because if you can't manage a little bit of money, how you going to manage a lot of money? When you're going to look at these athletes that made $100 million, but this one football player took out a $5 million loan to have a birthday party. But you made $100 million in your time playing football. Adrian Peterson. You took out a $5 million loan. You had all these people come to your house. And you had camels and lions and all this stuff here. Now you broke, and you on that loan you owe total $8 million. I know one thing you never hear of: Caucasian or white athletes going broke. Only the black athletes. They want to have 4 and 5 cars. They want to have this car and that car. If you ain't making LeBron money, Steph Curry money, and you got other income coming, that money it's gonna go. 3-4 years after the league, you done. Because you don't know about money management. That's all it'll come down to. But you want to blame the president of the United States. Oh, I had money when he was in office. Yeah, because your ass was home. You couldn't go nowhere. Everybody had money. A lot of people didn't. You got excused on bills and rent, and private landlords ended up losing property because you didn't pay your bills. And it's just so much that went on during COVID. But I'm going to say this. If you believe in a person who can sit up here and worry about how big is the size of his crowd at his rallies and can just talk down on different nationalities, okay, and can call people out their name. Because whenever he say to a black woman, you was just nasty, they was just nasty. You know what that means? Why don't you just call him a nigga? Just call him a nigga. Just because you black don't mean that they're on the right track. You done took this whole MAGA thing and ruined the whole Republican Party. Now, if you don't get in office, the Republicans gonna have to rebuild the whole party over because of you. You're old. You have no great ideas. Like Kamala Harris said, you sold the chips to China. And you came back and said, oh no, well I did, no, you've been sold this company out, this country, for your benefit, only for the Trump. Name me one company that he's been in charge of or he had that is still feasible today, with the exception of the properties that people let you slap your name on and they pay you a licensing fee. Besides the golf course you got that you probably owe money on, Mar-a-Lago, and if you don't come up with that $500 million bond, what's going to happen then? You trying to push everything, every court case you got, you trying to push after the election. Because you know, once you get in office, you can just get rid of those. You can get rid of those cases. You can just find a way to get rid of these attorneys, state attorneys, attorney generals that's against you in different states, like Miss James in New York in the Southern District of New York. And she went after you, and they went after Puffy. They went after Diddy. So what make you think that you're the only one? Diddy got away with a lot of stuff for years until they seen that footage of him sliding that girl down the hallway, Cassie. Only incriminating stuff that they got on you is about you running your goddamn mouth, telling people in certain tones and certain skip language and certain secret code languages. You have your secret meetings with people how you want to take over this country, and they down with you. Putin know you his puppet. I looked at some of the rallies of Trump. People was asked, who would you rather have, Joe Biden or Putin? All his people said Putin. Americans on American soil said they'd rather have Putin than Biden. And you figure that one out. Figure this out when you talking about people talking about well, you're gonna become a dictator. You say things out your own mouth that lead into dictatorship. You wanna be like Kim Jong, huh? People can't do nothing in those countries, man. Sad. This is what you want, right? You just want to be you. You think the White House is your house. It's the people's house. This is Van So for the Black Culture Network. Y'all have a great day.